Yeah. A camera that, an Apple camera. And this holder is terrible. All right. We're going to go ahead and start. I apologize for again about 5 minutes late, like earlier.
As you grumble into the camera.
As I grumble into camera, because the mic right here. Again, we're using new mic technology, so we hope that it's working.
If the chain jingles too much, let us know. Someone will hopefully notice in the window, and I'll take it off. But
so this is the second session that we did last year. We're adding more complex movements to the ladders.
Ever so slightly.
For Excellency, we'll talk about that the ladder isn't the only way to do something, but it's probably the simplest way to start. So we have some other classes going to do some stuff in the round and things like that, but we'll let her talk about it. So go ahead and cover what you're covering today.
All right. Since we're doing them all back to back this year, I'm guessing all of you were here for part 1. Awesome. So last year, part 2 was on a different day, so we spent half of the class sort of reviewing everything you learned in part 1. We just did part 1, so we don't need to do that, but since we all just went and took a break, let's go back through getting our nice body alignment. So, since I wasn't here, and someone else taught it, who can tell me the important key things on our body posture and alignment to do footwork and make our movement nice? Anybody?
It's on the stool.
Hips on the stool. What does that mean? Please explain.
You're keeping your hips centered underneath you and you're moving with your hips first.
Yep. So that's your hips, and everything on up should be in a nice vertical pile and should all move as one. When we start leaning and when we start, I gotta tighten my tunic, when we start doing things like bending our back, we're hunching over, any of that, it doesn't balance as nicely. When it's all in a nice straight line, it's a lot easier to move it around. Like we also want to have our feet that we're going for. The basic stance we use is this. We go heel-toe distance and then about hip width apart. If your basic fight stance is something wildly different, do that instead. We'll work with it. I don't want to try and have you doing something completely different that will not be applicable to the way you fight later. But if you don't know what to do, or if this is similar enough to what you do, this is where we like to be, because it lets us get that weight, like we said, centered right in between both feet, side to side and forward to back. And then our knees are slightly bent. We don't need to be way down, but we don't want to be straight. It's hard to move around like this. And that final thing is that ever important hip tuck. We want our tailbone pointing down at the ground. And that actually gets us this straight line. Otherwise, you end up with at least a little bit of a bend in your back. And it doesn't feel like much, but it will make a difference. So, part 1. We got our body oriented, and then we learned 2-foot run, yes?
Yes.
And then we learned our drop step, and our shuffle step.
Yep.
And then we did the shuffle with a little bit of an angle, yes?
Yep.
Cool. So for part 2, we're going to start sort of adding on to those and making them be a few more steps at once. So the first thing, we remember we just did our shuffle step. So we were here.
And turn the whole thing. That's the orange thing.
It's like,
It should turn. It should be loose.
oh, it's for camera update. So for our shuffle step, we just put this foot right in front and stepped out to the other side. And that was it. It was just our feet come together, or in this case, slightly in front, and then they come back apart. So for the next one we're going to do, we call it, very creatively named, the 3-step, because we are just going to add another step onto that and make it 3. So I'm starting in my stance. For me, I default to my left foot forward because that is my fighting stance. My shield foot forward. This one will switch sides as we go, but you can start in the one you're comfortable with. So we're going to do that same shuffle step, but this time we are adding a step to the front of it. So this foot that is back is going to be in the ladder, and it's just going to take a step forward to the next box. And then we do our shuffle step. Now that we've done that, our feet have switched, so my other foot is forward now. My left foot is now back, and it is in the ladder, and it is primed and ready to go to do that same thing on the other side. So we just step forward, and then we do our little shuffle step across. So So if we're counting appropriately, we've done 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. If you've ever danced, it's a waltz. So the goal here, what we want to do, of course, step 1 is just get your feet to make the steps. But then we want to start bringing all those elements together. I'll flip around and face and come back this way. So as we're doing it, I don't want to end up leaning over here to take that step. We want to keep everything nice and square. Step, move straight across. As I'm finishing that shuffle, just like before, I don't want to overshoot. I don't want to end up coming way over here and having no weight on this foot at the end. It becomes easier to speed it up if you just sort of do that and you're like, but it's not what we're going for. Because we're trying to do sword fighting. This isn't a great place to throw a shot from for most people. Here. Then also we just want everything to be smooth. That's why we stay down in our knees. So instead of being clunky steps, it should be a nice glide. If you're holding your cup of water, you shouldn't spill any. It should just come with you.
How quickly you draw your contour?
And again, do this slow. This is 3 pieces, so you will screw up, and it's perfectly fine. That's where we want to learn from when we screw up.
Those of you that do these all the time, if you want to go ahead and try doing it backwards, this one is pretty much the same thing backwards. It's just now I'm going that way, so instead of stepping forward, this foot is going to move backwards, and then we shuffle across. You'll notice that for this one, because we're taking that step and that's getting me my forward motion, when I do the shuffle, my feet are just coming together. I'm not trying to then cross it behind again.
What we're doing is you're going to
Just
step forward.
stepping back, together, across.
At most, you're going to step in front.
Step back, together,
In front as you come across.
open up.
So
1, 2, 3. So this one, as with anything going backwards, resist the urge to lean forward.
Here, I'll give you a quick rundown of it. So
Sit your butt down on the rolly stool and just shove that stool backwards. Get your whole body upright.
All right, let's go ahead and line up over here. Let's do the 3-step down towards camera. And then once we get to 3-step, then we'll work on that going backwards as well. If you have issues, go ahead and step behind the camera. We can work individual as they go if you feel really uncomfortable. So step with the back foot. There you go. And then shuffle that foot together, and then that foot goes out. So step with the foot in the ladder. There you go. And the back. There you go. And
There you go.
the foot in the ladder. There you go.
Together.
Good. Step.
Step forward.
And then back. There you go. And step. There you go. Good.
So one of the fun keys with this one, because of the way it's making our
Yeah.
feet
It
switch,
takes a little bit.
conveniently you
go.
will never
Now,
have
if you
to
wanna
step
bring
with the
this foot
same foot
behind
twice
you,
in a row.
you get to the
It will in fact be left, right, left, right, left,
Nope,
right,
yeah,
left,
step
right,
in,
left,
step
right, the
first.
whole
Come
time.
back.
You're stepping
Okay,
with
now
the same
swing
foot
that foot
twice,
behind you.
you've gone
There
off
you go.
somewhere.
And then step out. Good. Now step. Swing behind. There you go. Good. Step. Swing behind.
We're not swinging behind yet.
I know. I'm just trying to get his toes lined up behind.
Okay.
He's not swinging behind all the way.
and this sort of
Okay, step. There you go.
That was going
That
to be
was-
the next.
Yeah. So that's getting the step and starting to get. This took me a while, by the way. I had to ask her to remind me how to do it. Like the first 8 times I did it. Step. Yep. And there you go. And you can bring that foot behind now because it's free, right? So the foot comes forward, your back foot's free. The slide, you see,
You'll end up doing
forward.
it.
Exactly. Then your hips don't get all messed up. So step right behind. Yeah. Step right behind. You see how you're shifting almost into my corners, right? And again, we're working on this as side to side, but as you fight, you learn to turn those corners.
Well, yeah, depends on what your opponent is doing.
There you go. Good. All right, try it backwards if you think you're an expert.
Somebody lost string. I think it's me.
Looks like a.
a number of things we do here.
Where'd that go?
Doing that extra correction at the end. So you're going
A lot of back.
step,
I'm still
shuffle.
going straight.
I'll put it on my back.
Don't do that. Take a smaller step with that back.
Back, shuffle.
So for this one, you switch hands as you go through it. And so if you don't want to switch to that other foot,
Like a lot of these
Probably
steps
wanna
are
skip this
smaller than you think they are.
Steps first. Put the ladder back.
Yep, there it is.
Put the ladder back.
Good.
Gonna get an umbrella.
Put the ladder back. Put the
Sorry
ladder
for the
back.
touch.
No, you're fine. I would have ran you over. Left
Put
foot
the ladder
back.
back.
Right,
Together. Apart.
right foot back. Together. Apart. There you go.
Good. Step in. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Good.
Left foot.
Yeah, you're kind of shifting into my corners every time. This is a much better place. You're always shifting away from my firing lines, right? It's changing. My target is constantly changing, right? So if you're always changing, it's harder because I have to recalibrate where I'm throwing. Okay. That's why it's so important. In boxing, we take our head off line.
Yeah.
Same thing's happening here with feet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is a excellent point. Part of why we're doing these little back and forth movements, like Bronis is saying, it gets you offline of your opponent. You are constantly forcing them to readjust. It also has a bonus for people like me who, as soon as I get static, I stay static. So this allows me to keep moving even if it's really small, so that I am constantly poised and ready to go and I don't get stuck in my feet.
Jerk, you did on purpose.
Step in
You
the ladder.
wanted me to
There
touch
go.
you.
And remember that foot can, as you stepping back up this one, you're freeing area for this foot to come across and go.
Roger.
Free this area. You're not having to go behind. Because if I go behind, what happens, I'm here, and then I try to go behind my hip.
Roger.
Okay? We're trying to keep our heads square on our opponents at all times.
There you go. Forward together.
Keep our hips on them. We can throw in that position.
There you go.
There you go. Good. Yep. Very nice. Good part about it is soon that just becomes the thing. You're out here. You're fighting. You're making distance. I want to make distance on you, right? And then you see all of a sudden you change distance. You're in a shot or to throw.
Like, in part one, did we talk at all about the difference in length you can get with a...
Not much, just a little bit, but you can cover it again. So again, this is that same thing. If I'm way out here, you're going to want to take a step forward, and then you're going to shift into my side. You see any there. I'm in a bad place. You take your head offline. You're still able to throw. So I have to do something. You're controlling me. So that creates get you ahead of the opportunity, right? So that's why we do it. But sometimes we have to cover distance.
We did do a wide drop step.
All right. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do the next one and then talk about that. So I guess if the audience could politely go stand by the camera so that I can face everybody at once.
Right there is fine.
So the next one, in your first class today, you learned how to do sort of that smaller drop step, and then you learned how to do it bigger and wider. For shuffles, we're going to do the same thing, but the thing that ends up making it a little bigger and wider is now I'm going to take that step, and instead of bringing my feet together, I'm going to go ahead and break the cardinal roll and cross my feet. We're going to actually come behind. Does not need to be way over here, but we're just coming a little bit behind, like you were doing a little bit in front with your shuffle steps in the other class. So I step, come a little bit behind, open up. Step, cross behind, open up. Same footwork, we're just going a little further behind. And what that does is lets you get more distance on that sideways motion.
It's also just so everybody knows why.
So now I'm starting on the side of the ladder and ending on the other side instead of just hopping from one side of the middle to the other.
And the other piece is that first step, and everyone wonders why that first step is, because most of the times we're not always here where you don't need to take a step, right? So here, we don't need to take a step. In fact, we take a step, you make sure you have a plan, or you can take stuff out of your shot. But a lot of times I'm out here. There has to be some cover, and then shift into a corner. Now I'm in a poor position. I have to react. I'm pivoting or trying to get out of it. I'm defensively acting. She is offensively acting.
So, like I said, this one is almost the same, but instead of bringing our feet together, we're going to go ahead and let it cross behind. And that gets you further sideways. Again, nice and flat, nice and smooth. We just showed if you're turning it around an opponent, you don't want to be wobbling all over the place. You want to be square, ready to fire. So let's give it a try. Everybody give it a try forward, and then we'll talk about the very slight tweak you have to do to go backwards.
Much better on the flathead than the legs. Got into your leg, didn't you? Yeah. So again, on that one.
Cameras on robots.
Yeah, there you go.
So that time you did the small feet again. Go ahead and let your ankles actually Ooh, and a good note for when we are doing this cross behind. The straighter your legs are, the more you're going to trip yourself up and the less far you can actually go. And you also, the camera can jump in. So when I cross my legs with them straight, my knees are running into each other. Everything's bound up. If I bend my legs first, get in that nice position, I can cross my ankles over this way. My legs aren't even touching. Everything's fine. We're good. It's very clean. And it doesn't force me into twisting my hips in order to get my foot behind.
And when I say that, like, here I am. Forward. Right? Right here. Forward.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then as that gets better, you get better balance.
So you take the one on the line forward. There you go. There you go.
You all right? Yep.
The more you bend your knees, the easier it is.
Common issues to watch out for with this one. As people start crossing their foot behind, it is very tempting to twist your hips with it in order to get that cross. We don't want that. Keep those hips pointed down the ladder at the bad guy you're trying to kill.
And if you look at this, when she did this, a lot of people will lead, when they turn their hips, they're leading with the back heel. So the hips have to turn. If you lead with your toe,
Toes are pointed forward too.
right, then the hips don't change.
Yep.
There you go. Good.
Exactly.
And if you are
Sometimes it's easier to
comfortable
mirror
down in that
stuff.
squat, you can even go like an inch lower and get an even further cross.
And you notice a lot, this is a little bit like that 45, like you're doing it on a 45 right. The key on this one is you can even make it bigger. Red step and then swing that foot. Ah, you see how now it's bigger?
Cut into your
Okay,
post corner.
there you go.
Add some
There you go.
rotation.
And then as you add a little bit more weight to that, you see how you shift it even farther at time, right? So you can change the distance, see how he's smoothly sliding into somewhere. Yes,
Have I
very
got three
nice.
here?
So real quick now, I want to talk about how this one goes backwards. Only difference. I guess I don't have to trade it facing him, right? I might. I forgot.
That is true. Let me turn the camera so they can see you then. All right.
But it's time to go backwards now. My foot is stepping back. The foot that's crossing is now in front. Leave it in front. Do the cross there. Don't awkwardly try to bring it back and around. Just let it stay where that nice clean glide path is. Cross there.
And again, you notice she's leading with the heel. That toe is staying straight.
Only difference. Just cross it in front while you're going back. Because that is where the space is available. If you're feeling comfortable with forward, go ahead and give backward a try. If you're not
Okay,
comfortable
so
with
what's
forward,
happening here is
keep
I
working
might
on
be
that
here,
one.
so you're going to take a big step away from me and then change your ankle. Good. So see, I take that big step away. Good. Step away. So you get that range. Yeah, cross the front. Yeah, there you go. Step away. Yeah. And right there you go. Good. Now you see how you're changing it on there. Step away. Right. Step away.
Now cross the front.
Good. Yeah. There you go. Step away.
You're starting here.
There you go. Good.
Go ahead, put one foot outside.
Like I'm noticing
You're about a half
you are more comfortable taking a larger step back with your left
Hey,
foot.
buddy.
Yeah. When it's time for your right foot, you're just like,
My right foot's a little
Here when I'm doing. There you go.
okay. Something to be aware of. Maybe work that side a little more to get it more
I
comfortable.
think it's because I normally fight my left foot forward.
Yep. And the good part is if you find yourself in a different position, you're going to be able to fight from that different position. You can see that if people are really, especially when they first start and later, really adding drills to this or adding a person helps people understand what's happening in the fight.
Yeah. Step forward, cross
And you can, and then, you know, a lot of times you don't have to necessarily turn, right?
So the path that's
You can
available
just,
for the foot that's moving.
I'm on the outside. We got to kind of turn because you want your hips towards your opponent, but the longer you make, the more energy you put into that shift of the foot. So like there you go, and that when
Building
you
off
swing
what
it,
Bronis
swing it a little more.
was talking about just a second ago.
Yep.
This is a good
Yep.
time to point out that just in general, all of these
See how
drills,
much
we are
much
teaching the
farther
most
you went,
simplest form
and
of it.
fall into that
They
hip,
can
you'll even
all
go more.
evolve and get bigger. You
Okay.
can add an opponent coming down the ladder with you that you're trying to actually cut into their corners.
Using the corner of the camera.
Even before that, you can just practice doing it,
Use a fence way down there.
keeping your guard up in position. You can add your actual sword and shield or other weapon and
the
practice
same
holding
backwards?
it. Make sure your guard's not flying around and opening and doing weird stuff while you're trying to do these movements. As you start adding the mass up here, it'll become really obvious if things are tipping.
All right.
You can also start doing things like draw your ladder in a circle around your pal or around your friend. And you can use it to more easily gauge those circular motions where we're cutting into corners and make sure you're not accidentally closing range you didn't mean to, or vice versa. There's a lot of different ways you can build on these to make them more complicated. Instead of just doing them forward and then doing them backwards, you can start mixing it up. You can do, I'm going to do 3 forward and then I'm going to do 1 back, and then I'm going to do 3 forward and 1 back, and mix up the patterns just to keep everything moving, work on that agility, get your brain and your muscles comfortable with whatever, so that ultimately you no longer have to think about it. You're in a fight, all you do is say, I need to be over there now, and your feet just know how to do it. So next, now that we have confused ourselves thoroughly with crossing our feet, we're going to go back and we're going to not cross our feet at all. The next one is the also incredibly creatively named this one. In part 1, you learned your basic drop step. Our feet go apart, they come back together. Not all the way, they don't touch, we go back to our stance, but apart together. 4 step is just stringing multiple of those together. We're going to start to the side of the ladder, we're going to go 1, 2 into the box, 3, 4 out the other side. But the goal here, the ultimate goal, is it is 4 steps all the same speed, boom, 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 boom. And your upper body, if you were to hide the legs, looks like you're just sliding straight sideways. You want one smooth motion, no up and down, no stop start. Just go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just diagonally forward across that next ladder box. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Years ago, remember we were out having you routine and a young man and he was trying to do 700.
Keeping this one nice and smooth is really the hard part. This is setting you up to build into even longer sequences of just going sideways all the way down the ladder. Because it really, really annoys your opponent when they're trying to cut around you and you just follow them sideways. And then when they're trying to cut around you, you follow them sideways and backwards at the same time.
So to give you, just because the mic is over here, you may hear these referred to as gather steps, right? So a gathering step is essentially what we have talked about, a drop step, but a gather step is you're out, feet never come together. So in boxing you'll hear this a lot. Other sports you'll hear kind of gathering step. Notice we're going across, but they never come together. Shuffle step, we're going across, but now they're coming together, right? And then the back step will literally stay cross. And she'll talk about those later, or one of the other people will.
Yeah, could you redo it? Because the shuffle step and the gather step is very similar.
Yeah, I know. The
So I was
feet
about
together
to say,
is hard.
that is the sort of the common place where this one goes wrong, is as people are trying to do multiple of those in a row, we start just bringing our feet together and skipping, which isn't what we want to do. So what we want to do here, feet in my stance, hip width apart. Go hard, back to stance. When I say together in this case, it is back to stance. We are just gathering back toward neutral. And then 3, 4 out the other side. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Really come together.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for this one, I am keeping my left foot forward and my right foot back the whole time, no matter which way I'm moving. That stance comes back to cheer every time. Then, once you turn it into your other stance, do that one. Because it's good to practice.
So when would you use a gather step?
As a general rule, I like to do gather steps A when I just need smaller motion, because they are inherently
Shorter.
As big a step doing this, no matter how hard you try, than you can doing that. Gather steps, I like them for smaller and for closer. With crossing steps, anything where we're shuffling, where we're crossing, we've now shrunk our base of support. This is inherently a little bit less stable. So we don't want to be hanging out here. So if you are stepping slowly, probably shouldn't do this unless you're way out at range. If you're right up on an opponent, you don't really want to be hanging out with your feet crossed up, because that opens the possibility that you get knocked off balance. So the closer I am, and in general, the smaller movement I'm going for, I'm just going to do all these little gather steps, correcting my position where I need to be.
And you notice, I mean, those are really small, right? And we can talk about, in fact, go ahead and talk about when I readjust it to smaller feet.
1 second, I'm going to finish my
Okay.
thought. So the small steps, when I use the bigger ones, when I bust out the shuffles, the crossing steps, usually when we're farther apart, and when I suddenly need to make a bigger motion to get around you, or if we're coming along here and I want to throw off the tempo, taking that bigger step at pretty much the same speed in my feet speeds up the overall tempo because it gets me further. So we can be tracking, and then all of a sudden I'm in front of them, and it throws your opponent off. And so I guess what specifically about when we went to smaller feet?
So you notice
What
that
did you have in mind?
we practiced that small stepping here, and you're like, okay, why is that happening? And we talked really a lot about that gather step. When we, at a range, come here, at a range,
This is how I sneak into people's corners.
that's correct. At a range, if I make a gathering step and they're always the same size, sometimes in between these movements, there's opportunity for your opponent to do something. Anytime you lift your foot off the ground, this is the worst one. This is a gathering step forward, by the way. Lift. I can't do nothing. You can, but mostly you don't do nothing.
Bringing the mic to you.
Okay. You're not doing anything until your foot lands. But that could be what happens if he starts going forward as I'm stepping. I am not at the range I'm thinking I'm at, right? We take advantage of this a lot. But what happens here? Watch how small this gathering step gets. How long do you have to make your movement? Right. So now looking out, now I'm into that shoulder, into that, right? See how small those feet become? All of those are gathered.
Smaller steps like that, they don't telegraph as much. Your opponent's not really sure where you're going because it's not the same commitment as a big old step. And yeah, we use these to sneak into people's corners because like that, they have a split second, they're not really sure which way you're going, and you can in fact change on a dime if they decide to jump.
All right. So let's what's next? Was
We gotta actually try the four
okay,
step.
let's do it.
We did lots of talking, now
Four
it's time
step.
to actually give it a go.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Get over there.
Come down here. Good towards the camera again. For our friends at home.
And if you're one of the people that practice a long time, work on those feet staying a little bit wider apart in your stance.
Okay, pause real quick. Show me what your like normal fighting stance is.
I'm bouncing, aren't I?
1, 2,
That's a normal distance.
You should just count every step. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So you are falling into the as you're coming.
That's fine.
You're ending up real close. They're not quite touching, but it's a lot more linear than where you ultimately want to be.
Perfect.
So I'd say this is relatively wide for a base stance, so you don't have to like only do out here. But in those transitory steps, try to
So
keep
thinking about like
more like a foot of distance in between your feet because
You
they're
can
coupling.
feel like that drop step back.
And you're closer to your final stance.
Your hips start shifting.
So you're just here. It's very easy to drop into that as opposed to. Yeah.
Not bad. Watch how long we run.
So make sure to try this one on both sides. Do it with your stance with one foot forward, whatever your regular forward foot is, and then swap it and try the other side. Even though it will probably not feel nice. We should all practice our funny foot more for that very reason.
Good. See how smooth that's getting for him? Working on your small feet already. Yep.
And also go ahead and try this one backwards. Fortunately, it is pretty intuitive how to do it backwards because you don't change much. Your diagonal is just slightly behind instead of slightly forward.
All right, let's do that backwards. Okay, I'll show you back. You do it forward one more time. You're going to do it backwards. You're an expert. You're like, I am not an expert. There you go. Just think the same thing, but now we just shift our balance back into kind of drop your butt like you're on a stool. I'm going to correct you. Just find yourself falling back nice and comfortable. This is a lot like dance. We want nice, smooth moves.
Like larger step with that first foot.
We're going to keep adding these like
Center, you're still.
You're also doing that. That's also a different version of it.
There you
Mixing
go.
with the third step because you're shifting.
See how you're shifting? It's a little smoother.
So with the fourth step, keep the same stance.
And try to stay on the here, not so much, but when you're going forward, try to stay even here. Try to stay a little bit on the ball.
Actually, what you want to do is kick your pelvis forward. No, I know. And drop your shoulders back.
Yeah, there you go. This is actually the hard one that drop your shoulders. Because going backwards for people, you're doing a relatively good job, but you can see your hips are locked under.
Shoulders, nice
See how your
vertical.
hips are tilted out? Try to take, yes, sit right there. Now, just see how your angles are much higher? So now you're not throwing bad angles. Yeah, you're like, yeah, it feels like you're going to fall a little bit. But when you really get used to not falling, it's like I go backwards instead of, this is the primary thing, a lot of people go backwards, they drop their butt out. But then our angle change, head becomes open. But so, yeah, so come on over here, we'll be doing these, or I've done a class like these before. So now I'm going to walk it, and you just fall left. Yeah, see how you just, good.
Trying to remember what the last one I was going to give you was.
Okay.
Moving lateral. I think it was just across the
Is that it?
I think so.
All right, let's show.
If you want to talk about the hip and those angles, I'll go grab a sword to actually show.
You're taking the mic away.
All right, I'm gonna. That's okay. There's a sword over here too. Oh, she get a boffer. Okay. So, just for the people here, they're probably not going to hear us, right?
A little featherweight sword.
All right.
Safety sword.
First, I'd like to add one more drill because we don't do this often. This is the same gathering step, but now we're going to do it side to side.
Yes.
Okay. And come on. So Sadb understands this one. Here we're going forward, side to side. This time we're doing pure. I'm tracking her. This is a gathering. You notice our feet are coming apart. We try to keep those feet apart. This is a gathering step. Right? So this is, yeah, see what's happening? So now watch.
Here comes the game.
Watch here. So we'll do this as a drill together to kind of track each other. Sadb actually has a really nice class later this week. But in this case, I'm going to do a gathering step. This is just a drill for me. Sadb's going to actually, at the midpoint, do a shuffle step, and you see the distance change. Ready? And gather. See what happened?
I'm now this far ahead.
So that really changes what's happening. And this is why it's important. Those side-to-side gathers become really important. Because when we're traveling, fighting, most of the times we're not always moving forward. Right? We're trying to find an outside on our opponent. All right, last one. Go ahead, you can do this. You know it.
Yeah, okay, so since you were talking, we've been talking about the tucking the hips and the why we want everything nice and vertical like that. It's a lot easier to see it when we just include the sword. I've got my sword. I'm going to throw a shot to my opponent. I want to be able to reach their head. If I don't tuck my hips, if instead I let them go and my body starts falling, in order to do that, my arm is actually overhead now. This is a much weaker place to throw a shot. It's like if I leave my arm in the same orientation as my body goes, I can't even reach their head anymore now. I'm pointed down.
And you're defensively.
Yeah, and my defense is also pointing down. I'm making it harder to reach my opponent.
So let's take a look. We're going to do this. I'm going to attack. First time, butt out, duck butted all the way out. Ready? So again, go ahead and back it off. Like let your butt pull you away. See, this becomes very bad, right? You can see that angle is not good. Now watch when she does it right. By the way, doing this right takes a lot of trust in yourself.
I fell on the ground a lot.
So, here we are.
Grass is for.
And now watch, we're gonna do it one more time. This time she's gonna just move the hip. You remember how we moved the hip into a corner?
Oh, yeah.
She's gonna go backwards and change the hip direction. See that? That's much harder to do when you're like this.
It's a good way to end up on your face.
All right,
And then you try to pivot and it just goes into the ground.
is that it for the class?
That was it.
All right, well, we'll thank everybody for that class. We got another third class coming up. Silver is doing that one.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, so get some water. It's a very hot day, although that's nice having this class. Thanks everybody for joining us. Hopefully you're learning something. All of us here are all week here. We have lots of great instructors, so if you have questions for any of the instructors, ask them. Even if you're fighting, you're like, hey, can you come over and give me, I'm trying this thing in a fight. How would you use this thing in a fight? Because that's been one of our questions. How would you use these things in a fight? And we do some funny ones. Like, here's another agility. They do this in boxing all the time. Inside and outside the left. So you're like, well, where would you use that in fighting? Well,
Right here.
so what happens is you fall in on me. Go ahead. And then look how feet got wide. Right? And if you're going to fall out, the feet get together again, right? So there's times
Real quick way to boom.
Yep. There's times when even these things get used. So just be aware that these steps may not be perfect going side to side. We do change angles, but the idea, the fundamental step is there for you.
It's like the switch step.
We're gonna do
Yeah, that's
that
a
with laterals.
different
We can do
class.
that next one.
That's the next one,
Class.
isn't it?
Woohoo!
Okay.
We're doing laterals, we'll do switch.